There was a recent thing. This is Pokemon related, so I'm gonna bring this in because I read a lot about contract stuff. This for fun, man. That sounds so nerdy. But Pokemon Infinite Fusion. If you guys probably have heard the rumblings, there's a new YouTube video a YouTuber put out that's been like going over. Oh my god, this is so bad. This is the AI that they use for Pokédex entries were not just the bad thing about it. And sure, morally, using AI that is bad. It's I personally didn't have an issue because it was within how they were using the AI was they described two Pokemon Pokédex entries, entries, and you would put one and the other, and the whole premise was they wanted the two dex entries to just seamlessly merge a little better. And the whole game, if you didn't know what Infinite Fusion is, you would fuse a normal Pokemon and another normal Pokemon, and it would fuse them together to make a custom sprite, and the custom sprite is human made. All this was related to was the dex entries, the text documents, and it was just merging them together to be like you would still pull the information of the normal dex entries of the normal Pokemon, but just flowed better, grammatically correct, stuff like that. Currently, how the game was, it was like it would cut off mid sentences. It was really bad. It was really rough, and the dev just wanted it to be easier to read. Some people, of course, they don't, since it wasn't a mainly artist led project. A lot of them were very against it. They don't like any AI whatsoever, even if it is making the work to be less intensive, and it's only just a default. They were still pulling in a human dex entries to replace these ones, as similar to having those the generated ones that weren't AI. They were just algorithmically like structured sprites that were before like in the mainstream AI stuff started happening. Um, Similar to that. So what I'm getting to this is a video was going over this, and they were saying the spriter's contract that you agree and sign is so bad. You cannot. They have it written that you're able to remove sprites, but eventually the spriter's agreement was modified to not be able to do. You can't do that, and this they were never alerted the spriter artists. So the issue is open source projects have written rules, every single one that you go and join. You cannot pull you when you submit something in an open source project. The part of the license is you submit it and you give the usage rights to the open source project, and you still have ownership of the thing you submit into it. This is by law. They've gone through multiple court cases of people getting upset about their thing, and they want to remove their code or asset from an open source project. But by law, open source projects are you put in, but you can't take out, because as soon as you put in, you're giving them permission to use. The open source project itself can remove it if they so deem it, and Infinite Fusion was just giving them a clear shake, saying that yes, if we can do it, we will remove it if we can. But if you are asking in bulk to remove stuff, we will most likely deny it, because that is a lot of effort and work, and there's a lot of back end issues that come in, because Pokemon Infinite Fusion is running on RPG Maker XP and is using a lot of older things that becomes very much an issue to work with. So, and the issue is the video went into so many complaints that are industry standard for open source projects, that if anyone in the know it would be sort of almost horrified at the concept of people being upset by this. Yes, it's sort of morally issues. It may seem so. Here's the thing. It may seem like a misunderstanding. It's worse than that, because the people that started having issues with the AI and then swapped over to mentioning the Spreaders Agreement were all banned because they were very bad people that were having there were issues in the community. They were doing a lot of like bad stuff. And they've been banned in other communities as well. And so they're putting a steam up about this. They're trying to badmouth the game, and they're trying to make it worse than what it is. And so they're building a pitchfork, because first off, you get the Tinder of AI. Oh, they're using AI. Oh, that's you're instantly getting Twitter mobs on this, because this all started posting on Twitter that when this happened. And as soon as they started that, they went into, all right, well, they're removing, they're not doing this. Well, the developer was doing horrible. They're saying horrible things about us. They're being mean. So I mean, he was being very what's it called? Passive aggressive. I mean, understandably, he did all the work already. All this stuff was generated, and now people are like saying, "Oh my God, we don't want this. We don't want this." And then it took back a lot of the work that they put into making this basic, all the stuff here, generated that, the code base to work with it, stuff like that. Fair. I would be very passive aggressive a little bit in my announcement message too, personally. However, then they went more saying, "Oh my God, all the mods are being mean, rude." I wanted to. And then they moved into the whole spreader agreement thing, and started basically sort of being really snobby and attackative, even though the reason they were banned were literally like against the rules. They were being very aggressive to other users, all that nonsense. But people are not seeing the actual, like, why they were banned or anything like that. And they started to, like, okay, well, we're signing with these people because we do not agree with their AI stuff. They don't agree with all this stuff, all that stuff. Even though they backed down the AI stuff, they said, okay, we understood. They literally, like, it was, at this point, it's 26 days ago, with the spreader agreement, when people were bringing up issues about it, they said, all right, we're working on updating our spreader agreement with your guys' in mind. This video came out like 4 days ago. It's like, they literally are working with the artists to update the spreader agreement with them in mind. But yet, I don't know. Stuff like this bugs me. Because it's like, it's people not understanding stuff, coming into the environment of developers and stuff like that, not understanding who the people involved are, viewing these people and saying, this person is bad, this person is good, I'm sounding with the good. Yeah, it's very loudly not understanding anything is the main thing. And it's like, it frustrates me a lot, because it's like, I spend a lot of my time trying to learn stuff, trying to not look like an ass at times, and pull information and understand that not everything is black and white. Most things are gray. Every single thing you probably have seen, if someone says that person did that on purpose, they are evil. Typically, when someone is being an asshole or mean, there might be another side to a story, to be frank. That person that they're being mean to might have been the starting point. Sure, them being mean, yes, they shouldn't be mean. But there are tipping points for people at times, and people push people, and it's always a ball that rolls down a hill. It may start slow, but it picks up speed, and most things are always picking up speed faster and faster and faster. And if you don't step back, look at where it's going, you're either going to get hit by it, or you're going to be able to dodge out of the way of anything related to it. And I would rather be the person that dodges out of the way of the ball that's coming down the hill than be added to the snowball that's about to envelop anything in its way. That's my opinion of that. And it's why I try to voice my opinion and explain this stuff, like, as best as I can. I don't attack people. I might say, oh, these people are being a little pissy about things. It's not as simple as person A and person B are bad and person A and person B are good. It's everyone here has some issue, and there's some issue of wrongness and some issue of goodness. Some people have good opinions, some people have bad opinions in it, and I feel like people are just one-siding on too much. That's the end of it. Same. I don't want to look like an ass. Things are not black and white. Striped, polka dot, rainbow, up and down, left and right, meshy meshy. Yeah, exactly. And, here's the thing. I commented on the YouTube video, and my comment was decent. People are like, they upvoted it, whatever, and I don't ever like, I try to be explainative, and I explain everything pretty straightforward. And I posted another reply saying like, oh, they, what was it? It was, I said, specifically, I think they said preventable. What was it? I'm checking a reply here. I said, oh, wrong channel. There it is. Scroll. Trying to find where the comment was I made. Here it is. So I said someone said it was unreasonable of the devs to do something, do what they're doing, and I for like the actual agreement, and then I basically said I recommend looking up every type of open source license. Every single one does basically the exact same thing and end up getting updated and not requiring to give awareness to the people who have signed it prior, as long as the agreement is very clear within the project to be viewable. So, for example, Infinite Fusion is on GitHub. GitHub has a license agreement listed. You can download the game as well, and it has a README and all that. The Discord, if you get banned from a open source project, you don't need to see the license because you are no longer in it. You can't, you're not part of the stuff anymore. You already signed the agreement in the first place, so it's already done. If you're banned from it, you're banned from it. You can't pull out of it. You can't, all that nonsense. And I even reference PokeRogue, very popular open source fan game that has an open source agreement. Blue Sky is going into the bigger schemes of open source. That also has the same type of contract or license. The license do have different specific meanings, and they do pull different things, but generally it's I can't remember the actual word, but these are very similar words. So it's an input equals output. That is the general basis of open source. If you are inputting, your input has to equal the output. If you're outputting, your output has to equal the input. But you cannot just take out and never put something back in. It always has to be, you're putting in, but you're never removing from it, per se. If you're modifying and improving, yes. But that's basically the core of open source. You're not supposed to be able to just pull out and remove and strip your contributions, because you already gave them the license to use it when you submitted your code, your art, your whatever. So, and people just don't understand that. And it's not just like, oh, you can just submit stuff and freely do it. No, you sign a Spriter agreement. They literally give you a whole huge server channel. Ask you to read it over. They give you a whole like contract thing. All right, you sent these sprites in to be verified. You followed the rules. You followed the Spriter agreement, all that, and then they approve it, and now you're in. I don't know. Yeah, it's not like they don't still own the art. Exactly, they still own the art. They gave the license basically for the Infinite Fusion group to use it for the game and the website. That's all they did. They technically they can't sell it. They can't make art of it. Well, no. There was no mention of that in the contract. Open source. If open source says that, it would read it. I read the license agreements, and there's nothing of mention of that. It's just the website, the game, and I think like a Wikipedia stuff or like documents. That's all it lists, and that's all they've done. So, like, someone isn't just able to brag and claim your work. Exactly, and to include that, they also make sure to list the credits of the sprites in the decks when they can. Sometimes there are mistakes. That's bound to happen. Sometimes they'll say unknown artist next to the name, and that happens at times. Sometimes it will get purged or there's a mistake, and you just have to contact them and say, oh, this was my art. I actually did that. Here's the links to where I submitted that art, and put my name next to it. There you go.